Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Academy of English Excellence. I am your host, and I am so thrilled to have you here with me today. If you are looking to improve your English skills, speak more naturally, and build real confidence in everyday conversations, you have come to the exact right place. In today's episode, we're going to dive deep into practical English learning. We will explore how to master daily small talk, learn high-value phrasal verbs, correct tricky grammar mistakes, and practice speaking together in real time. By the end of this episode, you will have a set of actionable tools that you can start using immediately in your daily life. So get comfortable, grab a notebook if you like, and let us begin our English journey together today. Section 1. The power of small talk in everyday life. Small talk is often the very first step in building a connection with another person in English. Many English learners feel nervous when starting a conversation with a native speaker because they do not know what to say after saying hello. Small talk refers to light, informal conversation about everyday topics like the weather, weekend plans, work, hobbies, or recent events. It is not about having deep philosophical discussions. Instead, small talk is designed to break the ice and make both people feel comfortable. Let us look at a real-life situation. Imagine you are waiting in line at a coffee shop or standing in an elevator with a colleague. Rather than remaining in complete silence, you can ask a simple, friendly question. For example, you might say, "How is your week going so far?" Or, "Do you have any exciting plans for the weekend?" Notice how open-ended these questions are. An open-ended question is a question that requires more than just a simple yes or no answer. It encourages the other person to share a little bit more information, which makes the conversation flow naturally. If someone asks you how your weekend was, a great strategy is to give a short answer followed by an extra detail and a question back to them. For instance, instead of just saying, "It was good," you can say, "It was really relaxing. I went for a long walk in the park on Saturday." How was your weekend? This simple formula, answer, detail, question, will immediately transform your English conversations and keep the momentum going without any awkward pauses. Section 2. Essential vocabulary and phrasal verbs for daily fluency. To sound more natural when speaking English, it is super helpful to understand phrasal verbs. A phrasal verb is a combination of a main verb and a preposition or adverb that creates a completely new meaning. Native speakers use phrasal verbs constantly in daily speech, so learning them will dramatically improve your listening comprehension and make your own speech sound much more fluent. Let us look at 5 high-frequency phrasal verbs that you can use every single day. The first phrasal verb is catch up. To catch up means to talk to someone you have not seen in a while and learn about what has been happening in their life. For example, you can say, "Let's meet for lunch this Friday to catch up." The second phrasal verb is run into. To run into someone means to meet a person unexpectedly, by chance. For example, you might tell a friend, "You will not believe who I ran into at the grocery store yesterday." I saw our old English teacher. The third phrasal verb is figure out. To figure out means to understand something or solve a problem after thinking about it. For instance, you could say, "I spent 2 hours trying to figure out how to use this new software, but I finally solved it." The fourth phrasal verb is bring up. To bring up something means to mention a topic or introduce a subject into a conversation. For example, you might say, "I am glad you brought up that point during our team meeting." The fifth phrasal verb is look forward to. To look forward to something means to feel excited and happy about something that is going to happen in the future. Notice that after this phrase, we use a noun or a verb ending in ing. For example, I am really looking forward to our next English lesson. Or, she is looking forward to her vacation next month. Section 3. Key grammar tips for real-life communication. Now, let us focus on a few essential grammar concepts that frequently confuse English learners. Mastering these simple rules will make your English sound much more polished and accurate. First, let us examine the difference between the simple past tense and the present perfect tense. This is one of the most common areas where learners struggle. We use the simple past tense when an action happened at a specific, finished time in the past. For example, I visited London in 2019. The time period 2019 is completely finished. On the other hand, we use the present perfect tense when an action happened at an unspecified time in the past, or when the action has a direct connection to the present moment. The present perfect is formed using have or has plus the past participle of the verb. For example, I have visited London 3 times. Here, the exact dates do not matter. What matters is the experience up to the present moment. Another useful grammar tip involves prepositions of time, specifically in, on, and at. A helpful way to remember how to use them is by thinking about time from broad to specific. We use in for broad, long periods of time, such as months, years, decades, and seasons. For example, in July, in 2026, or in the summer. We use on for more specific times, like specific days and dates. For example, on Monday, on my birthday, or on July 5th. We use at for the most specific times of all, such as precise clock times and specific moments. For example, at 3 o'clock, at noon, or at midnight. Section 4. Common mistakes and how to fix them. Every language learner makes mistakes, and that is a completely normal and healthy part of the learning process. However, becoming aware of common errors will help you correct them faster. Let us review 3 widespread mistakes that many intermediate learners make. Mistake number 1 is saying, I agree with you. In English, the word agree is already a main verb, not an adjective. Therefore, you do not need the verb to be before it. The correct phrase is simply, I agree with you, or in the negative form, I do not agree with you. Mistake number 2 is confusing say and tell. While both words relate to expressing words, they are used differently grammatically. Tell requires a direct personal object. You tell someone something, for example, she told me the news. On the other hand, say does not require a personal object immediately after it. For example, she said that she was happy. You can also say something to someone, but you never say someone something. Mistake number 3 is using discussed about. The verb discuss already means to talk about something. Adding the word about after discuss is redundant. Instead of saying, we discussed about the new project, you should say, we discussed the new project. Or, we talked about the new project. Section 5. Interactive speaking and shadowing practice. Now it is time for some active speaking practice. Listening to English is wonderful, but to become truly fluent, you must speak out loud. We're going to do an exercise called shadowing. Shadowing means repeating sentences out loud immediately after hearing them, copying the rhythm, intonation, and pronunciation as closely as possible. I will read a sentence slowly first, and then I will pause. During the pause, repeat the sentence out loud with confidence. Let us give it a try. Sentence 1. I am really looking forward to improving my English every day. Now it is your turn to repeat it out loud. Sentence 2. Could you please clarify that point one more time? Now repeat it out loud. Sentence 3. Practice and consistency are the key ingredients to achieving language fluency. Repeat it clearly. Sentence 4. It was great catching up with you today, and I hope we can talk again soon. Repeat it out loud. Excellent work. Practicing these full sentences regularly will build muscle memory in your mouth and help you speak without hesitation during real conversations. Section 6. Building a mindset for long-term English success. As we conclude today's podcast, I want to leave you with an important thought about your mindset. Language learning is not a short sprint. It is a rewarding journey that takes time, patience, and daily effort. Do not be afraid of making mistakes when you speak. Native speakers do not expect perfection. They appreciate your effort to communicate. Try to integrate English into your daily life in small, enjoyable ways. Listen to English podcasts while walking or cooking. Switch your smartphone language settings to English. Or keep a short daily journal where you write 3 sentences about your day. Small daily steps add up to massive progress over time. Thank you so much for joining me today on the Academy of English Excellence. If you found this episode helpful and enjoyed learning with me, please hit the subscribe button, leave a thumbs up, and share this video with a friend who is also learning English. Your support helps us create more valuable lessons for learners all around the world. Keep practicing, stay curious, and keep growing. I will see you in our next lesson. Until then, take care and happy learning.